What is the mistake most Americans make when protecting their brain or not?
They don't think about it. They never really develop a relationship with it. And it's arguably the most important relationship you will ever have. And I started looking at the brain in 1991. And in 1991, I'm already a double board certified psychiatrist. I'm a physician. I was the top student in neuroscience in medical school. And I didn't care about my brain that much at all.
Interesting.
Because I hadn't seen it. The week before, so I just started doing brain SPECT imaging. That's the study we do at Amen Clinics. And I was so excited. I was like a little kid. And I scanned my mom, and she had a stunningly beautiful brain. And then I scanned myself, and it wasn't healthy. And I played football in high school. I had meningitis twice as a young soldier, and I had bad habits. I was only getting 4 hours of sleep at night. I was overweight. And I had just never really thought about the physical health of my brain. And my work taught me brain is an organ, just like your heart is an organ. And if it's not healthy, your mind isn't healthy. And I was anxious and angry and chronically stressed. And as I got my brain healthy, I was calmer, I was happier, I was more consistent, less irritable. And I'm like, everybody's got to have a healthy brain, right? And I love that about my work. When I graduated from medical school, I had two goals. I wanted to be a really good psychiatrist, and I wanted to be a writer. I wanted to teach other people about what I was learning, not just the 30 or so patients I would see in a week. I wanted to make a bigger difference.
Yeah, and some of the books for which you're famous, The Daniel Plan, which is a huge hit, number one New York Times bestseller. You Happier, another place where our work intersects, and you have a new book out now, or recently. What was your most recent book?
Raising Mentally Strong Kids.
Oh gosh, who doesn't want to do that?
I love that book so much. And then Change Your Brain, Change Your Pain is coming out December 2nd.
If listeners aren't familiar with you, what book should we start with?
Change Your Brain Every Day. It's a daily reader.
Oh, I like that.
And it's 366 short essays.
Bite-sized.
On the most important things I've ever said. And so when you've written as much as I have, it's like, do you have a summary? Although most people now go to ChatGPT and they go, give me Change Your Brain Every Day and 20 bullet points.
Yeah, but that doesn't stick with you as much as a daily practice of an essay that's embedded in a story. I've learned at National Geographic, if you want to get people to remember a health message, you don't enter through the brain with a bunch of statistics or facts. You enter through the heart with a story. And
that's actually not the heart, it's the brain, but you enter
yes, but metaphorically speaking.
The limbic brain.
Okay,
right?
yes.
You attach to a story that makes them feel something.
Yes.
It's like, I don't love you with all my heart, but it doesn't sound right to say I love you with all my brain.
I love you with all my limbic
You broke
system.
my heart. It's like, no, you broke my brain.
So what are the things that we should be doing if you're an average American? And there's a lot of headwinds. We live in an environment of, I would say, toxic food, too much sugar, too much processed food. There's air pollution. And I came down in the 405. We increasingly spend time in our cars. That means we're not spending time on our feet. What are the 4 or 5 things that the average American can do to protect their brain or to augment whatever cognitive capacity they have?
So 3 big things, and then you have to know the lists. So the first thing is you have to love your brain. It's like there's a term I created a long time ago called brain envy. Freud was wrong. Penis envy is not the cause of anybody's problem. I've been a psychiatrist for 46 years. I haven't seen it once. Brain envy. You want to learn to love and care for your brain. It is the organ where size really does matter. So care about it. Avoid things that hurt it. You just have to know the list.
Look, give us that list quickly.
Being sedentary, no new learning, pro-inflammatory food like sugar and processed foods, not knowing your genetic risk, and being on a prevention program your whole life. Head injuries. If you go, hey, Daniel, single most important thing from 300,000 SPECT scans, mild traumatic brain injury ruins people's lives. And nobody knows about it. Toxic exposure, whether it's air pollution, polluted food, drugs, much alcohol, believing every stupid thing you think, having a low vitamin D level. You know, the dermatologist won. They made us afraid of the sun. And that has been a huge
disservice,
problem.
Right?
Huge disservice, because skin cancer didn't go down when we started.
Interesting. Slathering with sunscreen.
The sunscreen. And all sorts of other bad things happen. You know, vitamin D, normal levels between 30 and 100. If you're over 40, your vitamin D level's over 40, you have half the risk of cancer of those who are under 20. And when I first tested my vitamin D level, and I live in Southern California where the sun's out 300 days a year, was 17. Because I wasn't exercising during the day. I was exercising at night because I work during the day. And I'm like, no, you have to get in the sun. And it's like, but what about being burned? It's like, don't be stupid, right? But 20 or 30 minutes a day in the sun without sunscreen is important to get a healthy vitamin D or take a supplement.
You know, parenthetically, we were interviewing Laird Hamilton, is this famous surfer, the other day on this podcast. And I asked him one of his top health tips, and he said, get in the sun. And I said, same thing. What about skin cancer? And he said, it's not nearly as threatening as not being out and playing, getting your physical activity, and getting exposure to the sun, vitamin D synthesis, and so forth.
We were made in the sun or evolved in the sun.
Yeah.
And now we're in boxes all day with artificial light. And then get your hormones tested. Low testosterone is a major risk for dementia. Don't be overweight. It's really important.
Yeah.
Of the 11 major risk factors. So I'm actually going through, I have an acronym called Bright Minds. You want to keep your brain healthy or rescue it, you have to prevent or treat these 11 things. Well, the D in Bright Minds is diabetes, high blood sugar, and or being overweight. If you're overweight, you have 10 of the 11 risk factors for dementia and aging.
That's 70% of Americans.
That's 75% of Americans are now overweight or obese. And sleep. Go to bed a half an hour early. You want a better memory tomorrow? Go to bed a half an hour early tonight. Sleep is so important. And untreated sleep apnea, snore loudly, stop breathing, chronically tired, triples your risk for Alzheimer's disease. And so those are the things to avoid. But then the flip side, the things to do, exercise, new learning, omega-3 fatty acids, know your risks and be on a prevention. Like I have heart disease and obesity in my family. I don't have heart disease. I'm not overweight because I'm on a heart disease, obesity prevention program every day of my life. Don't text and drive because you're more likely to get a head injury. Detoxify, avoid toxins and support the organs of detoxification, especially saunas. And you've probably seen this with your work. People who take the most saunas have the lowest incidence of Alzheimer's disease. Don't believe every stupid thing you think. From a mental health standpoint, know your vitamin D level, optimize it, test your hormones. And one reason to avoid sugar, if you get a sugar burst, it decreases testosterone by 25%. So if you share the cheesecake with your sweetheart at the restaurant, nobody gets dessert when they get home.
So if you like that clip, there's a lot more where that came from. So hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell so you won't miss our new videos as they come out each week.